I'm Professor Peabody, Nathan Peabody. I work at Merritt College in Oakland, California, and I'm here with Dr. Martien from Scientific Adventures for Girls, which is a nonprofit down in Emeryville. And we just had a little collaboration last fall where Merritt College has a Scopes to Schools outreach program, and I loaned a few microscopes, about 5 of them, to Scientific Adventures for Girls, and they use the microscopes to take them into some local schools and introduce young budding scientists into the world of microscopy and insects and owl pellets and other really fun stuff. And so I wanted to just talk to Dr. Martien about how that went and what Scientific Adventures for Girls is doing in the Bay Area and how they're helping make a new generation of scientists and bring up interest of scientific fun for these young girls. And so, Dr. Martien, how did the microscopes go, and what was the fun thing that you took away from showing them to the girls?
Great. Yeah, the microscopes were a big hit. Our students were really engaged with them. It was one of the most engaging aspects of this fall's biology curriculum. It was really fun to be able to see our students get so excited and kind of see a whole new world presented to them. So yeah, Scientific Adventures for Girls, as you said, is a Bay Area nonprofit, and we're working to close the gender gap in science, technology, engineering, and math. And our primary program is our after-school science education. We teach after-school science at 21 schools across the East Bay, so from Richmond to Oakland, and that serves about 600 students at those 21 sites. So this fall, we were teaching a biology curriculum, and as a recent graduate of a microbiology PhD program, I was really excited to be able to plan the curriculum for these 10 weeks of fun biology. And one of the things that I was really excited about was showing our students a little bit of the microscopic world. Some of the things that they grabbed from the classroom they wanted to look at closer were their fingerprints. So in addition to the insects that we provided them, that they were able to look at the insects and draw the insects in their lab notebook. That was sort of our structured curriculum for them that day. Many of them also came up with their own objects that they wanted to try to look at. One of my students found a sponge and looked at the sponge under magnification, which was really amazing. And it was just really inspiring to see their creativity and their excitement about like what all things they could find and put under there. And as you mentioned, the owl pellets was another lesson that we used.
That sounded really cool.
Scopes for the owl pellets were super cool because the goal of the owl pellet lesson was for them to identify the bones that they found in the pellets and try to deduce what the owl had been eating. And the scope was really useful because they could get a closer look at these bones and better see like the teeth that were in the jaw bones. And so it really helped them fully immerse themselves in the process of discovery. Many of my students had extreme reactions to what they saw under the scopes. Some of them were scared by the insects at first, which was really fun to see them get so excited about something. And almost all of the students who were initially very shocked and maybe disgruntled or even like disgusted by what they saw ultimately like wanted to go back and look more. So it really was a super engaging, like fully immersive experience for them. And I also got a lot of students saying that what they saw under the scope was beautiful, which is something that I personally agree with, that the microscopic world can be some of the most beautiful things. It was just really fun. Those were two of the most engaging lessons, I thought, were the ones where we could bring the stereoscopes and let them see a 3D object even closer than they have ever seen it before.
Great. And so just to be clear, these are elementary school students, right? So they may not have ever looked in a microscope. They may not have ever seen an insect close up, right?
Yeah, definitely. So the students that we're serving are, it's all the way from kindergarten. Some of them are kindergartners up to sixth grade. So we have a really wide age range that are our students at our different school sites, and all the way from kindergarten to sixth grade, we got really high levels of engagement from our students. It was across the board an interesting lesson for everybody involved. And I got a lot of responses that, like, wow, this is incredible. This is what scientists do every day. Like, how can you get used to looking through a microscope like this all the time? It's so like insane. So it was really fun to see that reaction, and it was a great it was a great lesson for all of our students, no matter what age they were.
Fun. Yeah, you said the getting disgusted is something that happens with insects, which is often, oh, that's nasty. He's like, let me see it again. Let me see it close up. Yeah, all the little fun parts on the fly eye and all that, or the and the bees. Yeah, so I collected a few samples and pinned them for the students, which is always nice to see under high power. Who collected the owl pellets? You guys collected those fresh for them? Because I assume once you dissect them, that's sort of it, right?
We purchased that. We sourced the owl pellets online.
Okay.
So we got yes, many owl pellets delivered to us, and they had a really great time with it. And the scopes, especially, was like things that they were not able to notice without the scopes. They started to comment on, like, oh, these bones still have all this fur on them. Um,
Cool.
Things like that. So it really enriched their experience, and it made them much more engaged in the lesson.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today, and I'm so glad that the microscopes worked out and that everything was fun for the girls, and we hope we can do it again.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate everything that you guys have done. And again, these scopes were just so much fun to have in the class. So really appreciate it.
Wonderful. Glad to do it. So thank you so much, Dr. Martien, and good luck for this coming semester, and I hope we can do this again.